Hi!
We're back.
Welcome back. And yeah, notes.
In this episode, we are showing you the ceiling battens. Still looking at the wrong screen.
got it written down.
And the insulation.
Yeah, the insulation on the ceiling. That's what we're doing. I had help this time.
Yes, because when it comes to ceilings, you do always want the shortest person to do the work.
Yeah. I thought that was funny. Yeah, this episode's really self-explanatory, so I'm just going to let me get on with talking to you about it now. So, the max fan's fine because I managed to put a framework in for the max fan, but the skylight up here, as you can see, has a couple of bits of 3x2 CLS onto it, and the idea of that is just as a placeholder so I could actually get the skylight fitted whilst not having the finished roof level, if you see what I mean. How the skylight works is the top bit drops down through the hole and the bottom bit comes up and screws through it to sandwich the roof in place, but obviously I haven't got the inside part of the roof done, so I've got to take down the inner section of that, take the bits of 3x2 CLS off, then make my framework around it, and then I can put the fitment back up again, which is essentially the finished trim. So in order to do all that, I've got to get that lot out, the insulation in, the cables, the ply, the strip wood, and then I can put that thing back. So I've just discovered I've got a new little friend. Look at this little guy. Hello. There he is. Another mouse got in the workshop. It's in the middle of a farm, so these things are to be expected. I know I'm using a lot of glue on this little project, but there's a good reason for it. Generally with things like screws, you can end up, after a lot of vibrations, you can end up with things working their way loose. So I'm not saying I'm not going to use screws, but I figure that if you use quite a decent flexible adhesive, then essentially what you end up with is almost like a vibrations kind of absorber, and then the screws will hopefully keep their place. So there's two things that I'm using, are stick saw, and I got this in, I think, Screwfix or Tool Station, one or the other, and sticks like. So the reason why these two is because these are hybrid polymers, so they basically don't react with anything, and they're highly temperature tolerant, if you like. So in the middle of summer, you know, it could get 50-60 degrees inside there, so you don't want your glue giving up or turning back to liquid. And by equal measure, you go the other side. We plan on using our van in quite extreme temperatures, sub-zero, -20, -30, and it does say quite clearly on here, is as high as 100 degrees C or as low as -40. If any of you've got a Boxer or a Ducato, you probably noticed the ribs on the roof aren't square, they're kind of tapered like that. And so what I would like to do is put a batten up to that and fix it to the side of that kind of weird, like, boxy thing. In order to get them sit right, what I'm going to do is, now I'm just guessing this, but I've got my skill saw, and what you might be able to see is it's slightly on an angle, and the idea of that is then get a cut like that, get a little bench like what I've got here, some sacrificial wood on the top so that you don't have to worry about cutting through stuff as you're going through. Just set your depth so that you're ever so slightly over what you need, and then you just end up running a little groove into this, which is fine because it's sacrificial, and that's that. So if you look down there now, you will see the angle which I've cut, and that angle allows this to sit up here, and that fits nice and perfectly flush. So you might also see I've done some notches. The reason for the notches is just to allow the timber to bend without it basically putting up too much resistance. And so now I'm just going to drill through this into the metal, run a bead of glue down the back, and then screw this up to there, and then I'll do the same for this one, and the one up here too. And then I'll be doing some strips of batten going lengthways. And this is all for keeping the 4mm ply up to the ceiling. But I've got to do this first so that I can get the insulation cutting in between. So that's where we're at. Let's get on with it. To get the battens on the ceiling back here, I'm going to need to first of all fix a timber across the top of this door frame, and that's going to serve a few purposes. One of them is going to be to actually carry the ply that's going to make the secondary frame around the inside, and then the other reason is to help me to fix up these battens end to end and to get the insulation in. Time to knock off all my cards are right, and I will fight. So essentially what I've got is a frame around the skylight with a little side bit here for the insulation. So same all the way around, we've got timbers all up on the ceiling. Managed to recycle the old roof rack, so perfect use of material. Good morning.
Morning.
I've recruited some help.
It's me. My job for today is insulation. I think in the... I'm going to say the back.
You're going to say the what?
The back door. The back door. I'm going to insulate the back door.
Okay.
No, I'm not.
No, the ceiling.
The ceiling.
I've given that task to the smallest person.
I'm going to insulate the ceiling.
There it is. Before I can do the vapor barrier, my next plan of attack is to get into the ceiling the cables for the lighting and get the cables all brought back to a cupboard so that I can organise the switching. So once I've got the cables chased in, I can then seal up the ceiling and vapor barrier it with the vapor barrier draped down the sides, ready to continue on then to the walls. As you might be able to see, I've marked onto the ceiling where the lights are going to go. So we've got 3 hallway lights. So as you walk in the side door, let's go this way. We have the first one, which is pretty much directly in the middle of the entryway, if you like. And then down the kind of gangway through the middle, we got another one there, and then another one here, and then the bedroom, full 360, begins just beyond that light, the bedroom, bed area, and then in here we're going to have 2 lights either side of the skylight.
When you're off your nut, you're my kind of fella.
What I'm doing now is I've got some conduit in the ceiling. Yeah, it's flexible tubing. This is running through the ribs across the top of here. But just to make sure that there aren't any cock-ups in the future, I'm going to run a draw wire through here, which is basically just a piece of cable. You run it twice the length of the actual conduit, so that never at any point does it ever pull through and you can't ever see it again. And the logic of this is that you get one end of it and you tape on your cable that you want to go from point A to point B, you tape it on and pull it through, but you tape it on in the middle. So that's kind of what I'm doing here, so you will now observe. That's that.
Thank you very much for watching this episode. We are already preparing the next episode, which is insulating the back doors.
She finally gets to insulate the back doors.
Yay!
Yeah, she doesn't do a lot on that one. It's all about me on that one. So anyway, it's just how I chose to do it. There's a couple of interesting things in there, so worth a watch. It's a short video as well, so won't take up too much time. Anyway,
until then,
thanks for watching.
Ciao.
Likey, subscribey.
Oh, that one.
Likey, subscribey, and likey, subscribey. Bye-bye.
Bye.